The homeownership lie. House skipping a house made me $200,000. They told you success meant owning a house, that having your name on a piece of land was the ultimate goal, that only then you'd be safe. But no one mentioned the hidden cost, the decades of debt, the invisible interest, the false sense of stability that quietly locks you in. That's the lie millions still believe. But what if not buying a house is exactly what could make you rich faster? Sounds counterintuitive, right? But sometimes renting and investing smart is a faster route to financial freedom. While some people tie themselves to 30 years of mortgage payments, others invest the difference and build $200,000 in passive income before turning 40. And the best part? It's not luck. It's a method, a strategy that's simple, accessible, proven. It starts with financial education, runs on planning, and leads to a life of choice, not obligation. In this video, you'll learn how to flip the script and apply what schools, banks, and even your parents never taught you. You'll discover the 4 essential steps to take control of your money, escape the homeownership trap, and build real wealth without giving up the present. So, are you ready to walk away from the lie and live with purpose? Keep watching. I'm about to show you what no one else ever did. Peace of mind fund. Have you noticed how most people live in a constant state of tension? Like walking through a minefield, just waiting for the next crisis to explode. A flat tire, a late bill, a medical emergency. And just like that, financial chaos. A peace of mind fund is like carrying an invisible shield. It doesn't stop bad things from happening, but it takes away their power to wreck your life. It's the first step to get out of survival mode and into the game of financial freedom. Saving the equivalent of 1 month of essential expenses, rent, food, utilities, debt minimums may not sound like much, but it's a turning point. What causes anxiety today becomes peace tomorrow. This is a foundation of financial education, and it instantly puts you ahead of millions still living paycheck to paycheck. And the funny thing, most people think only the rich can do this. But the truth is, it's not the wealthy, it's the disciplined who build financial security. If you don't have that fund yet, don't wait for a miracle. Start with $10, then 20, then 100. Skip takeout for a month. Sell that old backpack you never use. Cancel one streaming service. This isn't about building wealth. Not yet. This is about building emotional stability and financial mindset. Once your basics are covered, opportunities come into focus. And that's when you're ready for the next step. Tackling the high-interest debt that quietly steals your energy and future. Paying off high-interest debt. Now that you got your peace of mind fund, you can breathe. But breathing is enough. Because while you sleep, compound interest on your debt stays wide awake and hungry. Especially the expensive stuff. Credit cards, overdrafts, payday loans. These are silent predators that slowly feed on your freedom. So the next move is bold and direct. Wipe out what's draining you from the inside. Grab a sheet of paper or a spreadsheet and list everything. Seriously, everything. What you owe, the interest rate, the minimum payments. Face what most people avoid. The truth. The rule is simple and powerful. Pay the minimum on all your debts, except the one with the highest interest rate. That one gets all your extra cash. Every leftover dollar. Every bonus. Every side hustle income. It's like putting out a fire by going straight for the biggest flames. Because saving interest is like risk-free investing. You make money just by not losing it. Let's break it down. Say you owe $4,000 on a credit card charging 12% monthly interest. That's nearly $500 going out every month. Just in interest. That could be a car payment or a vacation. Paying that off means you're not just saving money. You're taking back your power, your clarity. And only once that weight is off your shoulders can you truly focus on the next level. Building an emergency fund that gives you the freedom to make bold choices without fear. Emergency fund. An emergency fund is like carrying a parachute you hope to never use. But the moment you need it, it saves you. The difference between someone who panics and someone who stays calm during a crisis often comes down to just a few months of savings. This isn't about luxury. It's about freedom. The ability to say no to a toxic job or yes to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's the moment financial education becomes real-life freedom. The recommendation is clear. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. If you've got a stable income and no dependents, 3 months might be enough. If you're self-employed or supporting a family, aim for 6. Sounds like a lot? It is. But this isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. Start small. Save 5% of your income or whatever you can. Discipline and consistency are what matter, not the amount. The habit builds a fund, and the fund builds your confidence. And get this, studies show that having this kind of buffer improves emotional well-being more than earning $200,000 a year. Because security isn't about how much you make. It's about how long you can last if the world stops spinning. That kind of strength is the real flex. That's what lets you shift your focus from surviving to building. And that brings us to the next game changer. Investing with clarity, vision, and the long-term mindset of true wealth creation. Smart investing. Now that the ground beneath you is solid, it's time to build up. Investing is when your money starts working for you, while you sleep, live, travel. But here's the thing. Try to invest before you built your foundation is like putting a roof on a house with no walls. You need structure before you grow. Once you've got that, you can tap into the almost magical power of compound interest. It's not magic, but it feels like it, because pennies grow into hundreds, hundreds into thousands, and thousands into freedom. And no, you don't have to be a Wall Street genius. You don't need to time the market or chase the next big thing. The best strategy? Keep it simple. Go with index funds like the S&P 500 or target date retirement funds. Want names? Try IVVB 11 or BOVA 11 if you're in Brazil, or VTI and VO in the US. They're low cost, long-term, and diversified. Even with small amounts, starting early gives compound interest time to work for you. For example, 500 Brazilian reals a month for 20 years could grow to over 400,000 Brazilian reals. And that's not theory, that's math. But it's not just about numbers. It's about financial mindset. Investing is choosing time over luck. It's planting today so you can harvest tomorrow. It's the opposite of instant gratification. That's why it's rare and powerful. Even with the best strategy in the world, though, you still need one thing: emotional intelligence to balance the now and the future. And that's exactly where the 65/20/15 rule comes in, your financial blueprint for living well today while still securing your tomorrow. The 65/20/15 rule for managing your income. Here's the real truth. Getting rich isn't about making more money. It's about what you do with the money you already make. And that's where the 65/20/15 rule comes in. One of the simplest, most powerful tools in personal finance. It's not extreme. It's not a trendy hack. It's structure. It's clarity. It's a way to divide your income so your life doesn't feel like a financial tug of war. The formula? 65% for essentials, 20% for fun, and 15% for your future. Let's make this real. Say you bring in $5,000 a month. You got $3,250 for rent, food, bills, everything you need to live. You still have $1,000 to enjoy life. Eat out, take a trip, treat yourself. And the remaining $750, that goes into investments, debt payoff, or savings. Restrictive? Not at all. It's actually freeing. Because it lets you enjoy the present without stealing from your future. That's financial discipline that feels good, not forced. Here's something to think about. Most people say they can't save, but they blow money on stuff they don't even remember buying. This rule? It's like a GPS for your money. Stick to the path, and you'll get where you want to go. You can adjust it. Sure, life isn't one size fits all. But keeping the balance is the key. Because living well today shouldn't stop you from building real wealth tomorrow. And once you get that, you're ready to challenge one of the biggest lies society keeps selling, that owning a house equals success. Game-changing mindsets and habits. We've all heard it. Real success means owning your home. But today, that idea might be more of a trap than a truth. Buying versus renting isn't about right or wrong. It's about strategy. In many cases, renters who invest the difference, especially in the S&P 500 or index funds, end up with more wealth, more options, and fewer headaches. Because instead of tie your money up in bricks, you're putting it to work, generating passive income, and buying you freedom of movement and choice. And speaking of traps, let's talk about lifestyle inflation, the silent killer of your savings. You get a raise, and your expenses rise even faster. New car, extra subscriptions, daily takeout, and somehow you're still broke. That's not freedom, that's a golden cage. Here's the fix. When your income increases, upgrade your savings, not your lifestyle. Add more to your emergency fund. Boost your investments. Build a future that's bigger than your next delivery order. Now let's go deeper. Want the highest return on any investment? Invest in yourself. Courses, books, skills, certifications. Read The Richest Man in Babylon. Learn a new high-income skill. Get uncomfortable. And yes, negotiate your salary. Don't wait for permission. Advocate for your value. If the market doesn't recognize it, change jobs. The economy rewards people who act with intention, because real wealth isn't built on luck. It's built on strategy, courage, and action. But before you harvest, you've got to plant. And it starts with questioning what they told you was true. Now that you've got the full blueprint, what will you do with it? Will you keep repeating the habits that keep you stuck? Or will you apply the steps one by one that put you back in charge? Because the truth is, most people already know what they should do, but only a few actually do it. And it's those few who build financial freedom, passive income, and a life where money works for them, not the other way around. Still think you need a house to be successful? Or are you starting to realize that true success comes from intentional daily choices? That your peace of mind fund, your debt control, your emergency savings, your smart investing, all of that is worthless unless you choose to act. If it feels like too much, start small. The key is just start. Now tell me in the comments, which step are you going to take first? Are you already using the 65/20/15 rule? Have you started investing in index funds? Or are you still battling lifestyle inflation? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth. And of course, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because if you made it this far, you're not just looking for motivation. You're ready for transformation. And every week, we've got more tools to help you build it.